Welcome to the Robert and Margaret Mondavi Center for the Performing Arts, UC Davis. Before we begin, a few reminders. Please take a moment to look around and locate the emergency exit nearest you. Also, please refrain from using phones or any mobile devices and from photography or recording of any kind. Thank you for joining us in Jackson Hall.
Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. How about a round of applause for our student performers, singers Mira Wong, Ashley West, Robert Van, and Stephen Ilogan. And the UC Davis Concert Band, directed and conducted by Pete Nowlin. My name is Andy Jones, and I am honored to be your Master of Ceremonies today. This is a momentous day for UC Davis, and we are delighted that you could join us. Thank you. Today marks the beginning of great things for UC Davis, and if you know anything about UC Davis, you know that's quite a statement. For well over a century, UC Davis has been at the forefront of meeting California's needs. So it is only appropriate that we engage in a ceremony that is itself hundreds of years old. An investiture is a formal ceremony that dates from the Middle Ages. It is steeped in medieval lore and practice. In the shadow of the alchemist have grown the timeless value of the academy and its role as cultivating and creating the discoverer, the advocate, the leader, the artist, the thinker, and the scientist. The investiture is a public recognition, an acknowledgement of the faith and confidence we have in a leader. It bestows on that leader the official mantle and trust of the university. It instills as well our confidence and belief in the office of the Chancellor, most specifically in Gary S. May as the new Chancellor of UC Davis. Chancellor May has made an immediate impact on our campus and on our region. His openness, his candor, and his sense of humor have appealed to everyone he's met, even when we've heard the same jokes over and over again. But before we turn to Chancellor May, there are a number of prominent groups of people in the audience that I'd like to acknowledge. First of all, we'd like to welcome and thank the elected officials and international officials who are here with us today. We salute your public service, your engagement, and your involvement with this great institution. Would you please stand so that we may recognize you? As well, I'd like to thank all of you who are not physically here with us, but who are instead watching this webcast from your dorm rooms, your offices, or some other central gathering place. Of course, we are particularly grateful to the many individuals and organizations who do so much to support our mission, the donors and the funders of our research who contribute significantly to the vitality and the vigor of this institution. Your efforts on behalf of UC Davis and your philanthropic support of our students, faculty, and programs are vital to the university's ongoing success. We appreciate your commitment to our mission and our vision. Please join me in welcoming our donors and volunteers in attendance, including the UC Davis Foundation Board of Trustees, the Chancellor's Laureates, and members of the Cal Aggie Alumni Association. We would also like to extend our gratitude and appreciation for the large number of faculty, deans, and administrators and staff who are here with us this morning. Thank you. Let's clap for them, shall we? And I want to particularly thank our students, both graduate and undergraduates, who are present here today. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we are extremely honored to have with us a person uniquely qualified to assist in the investiture, the distinguished chair of the UC Board of Regents, Mr. George Kieffer. Please give him a warm Aggie welcome.
Chancellor May, as chair of the University of California Board of Regents, I have been entrusted with the honor and joy of bringing you warm greetings and best wishes from all of the regents. On behalf of the entire UC system, we welcome your leadership to this distinguished, beloved campus, ideally positioned in California's agricultural heartland between the Sierra and the sea. I love history, and I love the history of Davis. History dates back beyond 1906, an earthquake in itself, when a committee of appointed regents purchased the parcel of land that would become the site for what was then called the University Farm. 4 buildings were constructed in 1907, short courses were offered in 1908, and a 3-year non-degree program was set up in 1909. The campus was renamed the Northern Branch of the College of Agriculture in 1922 and enrolled the first class of 4-year undergraduate program. It became the College of Agriculture at Davis in 1938, with 106 courses taught by 76 faculty. 21 years later, the Regents designated it as a general campus. That was 1959, and it's certainly an understatement to say that a lot has changed at UC Davis since then. It has become the world's preeminent university for agriculture, veterinary science, and environmental sustainability. I want to just say that again. It has become the world's premier university for agriculture, veterinary science, and environmental sustainability. UC Davis's research in biological sciences, food sciences, energy, water, and climate place it in the vanguard of institutions making a real critical difference in the world today. And the UC Davis Health Campus in Sacramento continues to chart progress in innovative treatments for the healing of the body, the mind, and the spirit. Meanwhile, the campus arts community has established a rich legacy in modern art with luminaries such as Wayne Thiebaud and Robert Arneson. Its music, close to my heart, drama, and language arts are renowned for their spontaneity, their wit, and their warmth. This success is reflected in the spectacular quality of the art venues on campus, such as the Mondavi Center for the Performing Arts that we occupy today, and the fabulous new Jan Sherem and Maria Manetti Trem Museum of Art just across the street. Chancellor May, yes, who could not be struck by these buildings? Chancellor May, you've come to us from Georgia Tech, where you were, if I may borrow a line from the Yellow Jackets fight song, a hell of an engineer. You accomplished so much there in so many ways after earning your advanced degrees at UC Berkeley. You were a force for good as well as a force for excellence. Now that you're back as a force in the UC family, we know that you'll be both a hell of an engineer and a hell of an Aggie. And we also know that that same force of yours will build UC Davis's legacy of excellence, build upon it. And as you like to say, quote, boldly go where no university has gone before. We know, too, that your emphasis on building diversity and nurturing success among all students will transform the face and the future of California. We stand with you now, and we pledge you our support as you boldly go forward. And Chancellor, now as you boldly go forward, if I may invert a famous set of words from another film, may your force be with us. Congratulations, Chancellor May.
Thank you, Regent Kieffer. We will next see a brief video about Chancellor May, his history, his preparation, and his aspiration for UC Davis and the university community.
My parents were both big believers in education and what it can do for you and your career. I was a very strong student in elementary school and high school. I virtually got straight A's throughout, and that built up a certain amount of confidence in me. You might even say it was arrogance, but it made me feel like I could do whatever I needed to do to be successful in the classroom. When I got to college, I was perhaps overly confident.
I wasn't going to be able to skate through this as easy as I thought, and that I was going to have to work hard, I was going to have to make friends and use all my resources.
Well, it taught me that I do need other people to be successful. So my leadership style is very inclusive. I'm a consensus-driven leader. I like to seek opinions from everyone on my team before I make decisions, as opposed to doing it all myself. As good as Davis is, I think we can still reach another level. I'd like for Davis to be one of the small handfuls of schools that is mentioned when we talk about the very best public research universities in the country. It should be at the tip of everyone's tongue, at the prospective student's tongue, at the prospective parent's tongue, at the legislator's tongue, at the donor's tongue, researcher's tongue. So the building blocks are here, the elements are here. We need to assemble them in the right way and be able to tell our story. And one of the ways we're going to do that is through a strategic planning exercise that we're undergoing right now, which will set the path for Davis for the next 10 years or so. Well, as educators, we're on the front line for our students. We are the role models they see every day or every other day in the classroom. We have to project a knowledge, we have to project compassion, we have to project our own excitement about the subject matter, and let the students see that reflected in the way we teach. I've always admired people, if you use the professional athlete analogy, the ones that had the natural talent but also had the work ethic. And I think I have that combination. I have some natural talents that, when combined with the fact that I have a very strong work ethic and I care about the results, I think that will be something that stands me in good stead and benefits the UC Davis campus community. You know, there's a saying in the South that if you see a turtle on a fence post, it didn't get there by itself. That's me. I had a lot of help growing up. The foundation my parents laid, safe, warm, loving family environment, always emphasizing education, but in a productive and constructive way. My sister, she was my first best friend. We remain very close today. Her support has been invaluable as well. Can't say enough about your life partner. In every way that I can imagine, you know, Lachelle is perfect for me. I'm just so blessed to have been able to meet her and to be able to live my life with her. We were fortunate enough, blessed enough to be able to give life to two wonderful girls. They make me so proud. They're excellent students, they are excellent people, they have great values, they've never given us any trouble, and now they're just about grown. They're in college and they're on their own, and you know, I couldn't be more proud of those two young ladies. You know, this opportunity is humbling. It means that a group of people have the confidence in me for leadership, such a wonderful institution. And that makes me feel, you know, responsible, accountable, and humble. And I hope I'm up to the task, and I know I'm going to need help. I'm going to need the help of the Davis community, and I think we're all going to get there together.
We will now turn to other members of the stage party to seek their perspectives on the day. Please welcome the President of the Associated Students of UC Davis, Mr. Josh Dalavai, and President of the Graduate Student Association, Mr. Roy Tagag.
Hey everyone, thanks for having us, Chancellor May. It's an honor, and we're very glad to have you. My remarks will be rather brief, and then I'll turn it over to Roy, who is the Graduate Student Association President. Chancellor May, on behalf of the Associated Students of UC Davis, I want to welcome you and celebrate your arrival at UC Davis. We are a vibrant, diverse, and fully engaged student body, and we want to join with you as you move boldly into the future. We hope that you will count on us as your collaborators, partners, and colleagues as we move forward as a unified force dedicated to advancing UC Davis, and confident that together we can take the university to new heights. Thank you, and go Aggies.
Hi, everyone. As president of the Graduate Student Association, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to Chancellor May on this auspicious occasion. The graduate student community looks forward to working closely with you to improve the campus and to make sure that we are as great as we can be. Few people have the courage and the tenacity to face this challenge head-on, and we eagerly await to see how your vision for this university comes to fruition. Your success is our success. And in that regard, I wish you the very best in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh and Roy. We are equally delighted to have with us today Ms. Kate Shasky, Chair of the UC Davis Staff Assembly. Ms. Shasky?
Good morning. On behalf of the UC Davis Staff Assembly, I'd like to welcome you, Chancellor May, and your family to Davis. You will find our staff to be keenly interested in the future, devoted to moving UC Davis ahead, and dedicated to creating an inclusive home for all Aggies. This year, we, Staff Assembly, look forward to engaging our staff in the mission of UC Davis, recognizing them for the contributions they provide to our community and our dialogue and friendship as we move forward this great university. In the short time we've got to know you and work with you, we are confident in your leadership, share in your vision, and wish you and your lovely family all the best as we begin this vitally important work. Welcome, Chancellor May.
Thank you, Kate. I will now invite Rachel Goodhue, Chair of the Academic Senate, to speak. Dr. Goodhue?
Thank you, Andy. The Academic Senate is the faculty government of the University of California. Discharging the responsibilities delegated by the Regents, we partner with the administration to govern the vast UC enterprise. Here at UC Davis, we cherish this shared governance because we know it enriches our missions of teaching, research, and public service. Chancellor May has already been a great partner to the Academic Senate. His energy, his enthusiasm, and his ambitions for UC Davis match the faculty's own. He has brought to his first months an eagerness to learn and engage, which is essential to understanding the complexity and the depth of UC Davis and its impact on California and the world. In addition, Chancellor May recognizes that the story of UC Davis remains, in many ways, unwritten. To write it will take optimism, determination, and a hunger to examine the unknown. So congratulations to you, Chancellor May. Congratulations on leading this journey for UC Davis, and congratulations on writing this new chapter of your own story. We look forward to working with you, and I wish you and our entire campus community the very best of luck.
Thank you, Rachel. Well said. I now invite my colleague, Pat Randolph, Chair of the Academic Federation, forward. Pat?
Thank you, Andy, and good morning. First, I just want to say it's an honor for me to be able to give a few brief remarks here this morning. And I don't know about you, but I just feel this positive energy in this room. And I think that's what we're looking forward to as we move forward here at UC Davis. Chancellor May, the 1,600 members of the Academic Federation welcome you to UC Davis. Members of the Academic Federation include educators, researchers, and librarians. We're also clinicians in the health sciences, and still others of us focus on the public service side. For example, communicating the knowledge generated at UC Davis to the public through our extension programs. You will find members of the Academic Federation are very skilled and passionate about what we do and love contributing to that mission of the University of California. We look forward to working with you to continue the tradition of excellence at UC Davis in education, research, and public service. We welcome you, give you our full support, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat, for your comments. Next, we turn to the leader of the UC Davis Foundation, which, year in and year out, works on behalf of the campus and its students with dedication and devotion. Please welcome Mr. Bruce Bell, Chair of the UC Davis Foundation.
Thank you, Andy. Wow, what a day. Chancellor community, we open our arms to you and your beautiful family. UC Davis is a very special place, and we have every confidence that you'll be able to lead us forward as we set out to reach even greater heights. Our charge at the UC Davis Foundation is to build ongoing monetary support for UC Davis, and our stewardship of the philanthropic enterprise is dedicated to making a vital difference in the vigor and vitality of the campus. We help raise the resources our campus relies on to provide scholarships for deserving students, to finance new areas of academic endeavor, and to build goodwill for UC Davis throughout the world. On behalf of the trustees of the UC Davis Foundation, we thank you for joining us in this mission. We are honored to have someone of your stature and ability here to lead us, and together we will know no limits. Chancellor May, we stand with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you for mentioning the philanthropic enterprise. Bookies have put the over-under on enterprise remarks and jokes connected to Star Trek at 7, if you're keeping track at home. Now it is time to hear from our thriving Alumni Association, led by a great friend to our campus, one who is on the A-list for alums, Ms. Debbie Stegura. Debbie.
Chancellor May, the Cal Aggie Alumni Association, 250,000 strong, welcomes you, Mrs. May, and your family to our extended Aggie family. Aggies are everywhere. We're confident that as you travel the world during your chancellorship, you will meet proud and productive Aggies everywhere you go. For Aggies are problem solvers. We are entrepreneurs. We are givers. We strive to be diverse and inclusive. This, Chancellor May, as you so often say in 140 characters or less, this is who we are. Our blue and gold has never been stronger, more enthused, nor more committed to helping you take UC Davis to the very top of public research universities. We look forward at CAAA to going boldly with you. Go Ags!
Thank you. We will now have an opportunity to hear from the family of Chancellor May. Please welcome Lachelle May, Chancellor May's wife, and their daughters, Simone and Jordan.
Hi, I'm Lachelle May.
I'm Simone. I'm Jordan.
I want you to know before we start that Chancellor is very leery of what we're going to say. He's very nervous. But we'll get started. I stole this idea from a dear friend of mine who wrote a letter to her fiance who passed, and she wrote this while they were courting. So I had the idea to write you a letter. And here it goes. Don't you laugh. You're in this. Quickly, dear Gary, it was spring 1985 in San Francisco, just 65 miles away from here, the day that I first laid eyes on you. Not romantically, because I was across the room from you with freshman eyes as you delivered a campaign speech for a national position with the National Society of Black Engineers, and I see we have a lot of representation here. Ironically, we're back where my knowledge of you first began. It's a full circle moment. I will never forget, later that day, my chapter president revealed that our members should no doubtingly vote for Gary May because he had a 3.99999 in electrical engineering. So you had our vote. You had my vote 9 years later when I vowed to be your wife. Now, 23 years later, we still genuinely like each other. It's nice. The finest age Napa Valley wine has nothing on us. You cannot squeeze laughter and bliss into a bottle. My love for you started with your humor and humility, but I have to say over time that has changed into something deeper. Here are the reasons. I love when you travel the world, but you never miss a Christmas to be with your mommy, who's over there, out of your 53 years of life. Your love for your mom, your mom is endlessly, and you cherish rekindling the lost time. I love the time when one of the girls made a very subpar second grade log cabin that you prohibited me from restoring. You knew their growth outweighed their grade. I love that no matter how long you're away from the girls, you hold off seeing a blockbuster movie until everyone's reunited, because I think you value quality versus quantity. I love how, in spite of the fact that you knocked your sister unconscious when you were younger, you still have a relationship that can be envied by all. She is your truest, longest best friend. I even love the time when one of these young ladies right here posted something negative about us on Facebook. And for the following 7 days after that, you made one of these ladies post, "I love my parents because." It's a good one. You're just darn clever. That's what I love. I love how you turned down many Thanksgiving dinners because you know your mother-in-law just loves to cook turkey and duck for you. You realize that she loves to feed you. Simply put, I love that you love me. That letter is to be continued. It ends there. There's more to come. There's more I could have added. But the bottom line is, in my very short time here at Davis, I realized this is a family community. And in my eyes, UC Davis is getting a remarkable family man. Thank you, Janet, for this opportunity.
They gave us waters up here on stage, but no tissues. Thank you, Lachelle May. That was beautiful. Did you see the few lines of poetry she slipped into her letter? Thank you, May family. Our keynote speaker has journeyed from the East Coast all the way from Georgia to be with us here today. Dr. Wayne Clough has known Chancellor May for well over 20 years. They have worked together, collaborated, and created together, always with an eye toward making higher education more accessible and more affordable, more challenging and more invigorating. Dr. Clough served as the president of the Georgia Institute of Technology from 1994 to 2008. Before moving to become secretary of the Smithsonian Institution from 2008 until 2014. His reputation for achievement is unparalleled. During his tenure, Georgia Tech, like UC Davis, rose into the top 10 of public universities nationwide. He presided over significant student growth and more than doubled funding for external research during that time. At the Smithsonian, Dr. Clough revitalized the organization, expanded research, created a series of dynamic and impactful relationships with other organizations, and instituted a commitment to the practice of sustainability. Please give an enthusiastic Aggie welcome to Dr. Wayne Clough.
Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you very much, Andy. And boy, this is a hard act to follow, I gotta say. But it is an honor for me to be here with you at the University of California, Davis on this special occasion, the investiture of the 7th Chancellor of the University, Dr. Gary Stephen May, in case you're wondering what that S was for. It's a pleasure to be here with you on this beautiful campus in this day with the faculty, staff, students, and friends of UC Davis, the dignitaries from other distinguished universities, and especially Gary's wonderful wife, Lachelle, and the daughters, Simone and Jordan, you just heard from. My wife, Ann, and I have known Gary and Lachelle for more than 20 years and consider ourselves fortunate to call them as friends. During this time, their daughters grew from girls to young women, and we shared many special moments together. Some were just fun, like our trip to New York City this year to see the Broadway show Hamilton. Others were inspiring, like the times when Gary and Lachelle joined us in Washington, first for the 2008 inauguration of President Obama, and then for the 2016 dedication of the remarkable new National Museum of African American History and Culture. And in case you may be wondering, I can say firsthand that the crowds for the first inauguration of President Obama were truly, really, really large. My acquaintance with Gary began with my appointment as president of Georgia Tech in 1994. It didn't take me long to meet him because I asked around campus for faculty who were leaders, and his name was one of the first mentioned. He and I bonded right away, in part because both of us received our undergraduate degrees at Georgia Tech and our PhDs at the University of California, Berkeley. We were kindred spirits, and I even learned to appreciate his offbeat sense of humor and his love of Star Trek. Today we're here to inaugurate a new era in the history of the University of California, Davis. In the 59-year existence of this institution, you've only welcomed a new chancellor on 6 previous occasions. Your first chancellor, Stanley Freeborn, only served 1 year, but successive chancellors have had longer tenures, and each attended to the rapid rise of this institution into the ranks of the top universities of the nation and the world. The University of California, Davis was founded in 1958, and its life is only the blink of an eye in the history of higher education. Here in the United States, Harvard University and William and Mary University were founded in the 1600s, well before we became a nation. Even so, this institution has lived through its share of dramatic events. The signing of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, human spaceflight, the dissolution of the Soviet Union, the invention of the internet, wars in faraway countries like Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Syria, the tragedy of 9/11, and the Great Recession of 2009. Through it all, this university continued to grow both physically and in prestige. How did it happen? Credit is shared amongst the faculty, students, staff, alumni, and friends. It also lies with the university's leadership. Leadership of a flagship public university today is more challenging than it was two decades or even 1 decade ago. Today, our nation is dealing with the aftermath of multiple natural disasters, 3 major hurricanes, and here in California, the consequences of a historic drought and recent tragic wildfires, each disaster made worse by the effects of human-induced climate change. Our country stands more politically divided today than in the past. The ugly strains of racism are gaining ground. The threat of nuclear war is rising, and our optimism for the possibilities of new technology is now tempered as we see its dark side emerge. At the same time, we live in a moment of remarkable optimistic developments. The progress in cures for cancer, the emergence of carbon-free alternative energy sources that are economically competitive, a growing appreciation of the threat to our planet's biological diversity, and new discoveries about the origins of the universe and who we are. Leaders, particularly leaders of great universities, help chart a course that opens doors for these kinds of possibilities. They reinforce our democratic traditions and enlarge the minds of students while challenging them to achieve their highest aspirations. Your new chancellor, Gary May, comes to you with a background that has prepared him to help you meet the challenges and opportunities this institution faces. Be assured he's been involved with the nuts and bolts of what it takes to make a university work, experience that helps get things done. During my presidency at Georgia Tech, Gary served 4 years as my executive assistant. He then became chair of the School of Electrical and Computer Engineering, which is both Georgia Tech's largest school and the largest such program in the nation. It was my pleasure to work with him over the years and benefit from his knowledge, commitment, and great sense of humanity. Shortly after I left for the Smithsonian, Gary became dean of Tech's largest college, the College of Engineering. In these roles, he was engaged in issues of governance, decision-making, academic integrity, fundraising, and developing new initiatives. Gary worked closely with me as we planned and built Technology Square, a complex that transformed a rundown area in Midtown Atlanta into a vibrant center of innovation, job creation, and urban life, linking the efforts of Georgia Tech with the city. He brings this firsthand experience to the similarly ambitious initiative you are considering in the city of Sacramento. Gary was also integral to the growth of the national and international academic reputations of Georgia Tech and its college, a School of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and the College of Engineering. As you well appreciate, academic reputation of a university is hard-earned, and you need a leader who understands and appreciates its significance. But beyond all his formal duties, there are two aspects of Gary's life that I believe have prepared him for this role as your chancellor. First, he kept his sense of humor, something that keeps you going when things are tough and keeps you from taking yourself too seriously. As Gary worked with student groups at Georgia Tech, he encouraged them behind the scenes to bring a bit of levity to solemn occasions. At graduation, for example, when the students crossed the stage to shake my hand and get their diplomas, it became a game for many, I think Gary had something to do with this, to bring along a small gift for me, like a golf ball. The goal was to fill my hands with golf balls while I was still trying to shake hands with the students. After the first time this happened, I made sure Gary sat next to me. And as I was presented with these gifts, and they got more and more creative as time went on, I made sure Gary had to put them in his hat or keep them close by in a bucket. So Gary knows having a little fun is important to a university campus. And I warn you in advance, watch out. Beyond his sense of humor, Gary is uniquely committed to student life and student success. Nowhere was this dedication more evident than in his dynamic leadership of Georgia Tech's efforts to mentor students from groups that were underrepresented in engineering and science. He obtained a $4 million grant from the National Science Foundation to fund this program and organized a systematic approach that integrated mentoring efforts at the undergraduate and graduate level. While Gary was in charge of the program, Georgia Tech did something never achieved and has not been achieved since by a majority institution. For 3 years running, it graduated the largest number of African American students with engineering degrees in the nation at the undergraduate, master's degree, and PhD levels. During this time, Georgia Tech was also named as one of the best places for Hispanic students to study engineering in the country. In 2015, Gary was recognized by President Obama with the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science, Mathematics, and Engineering Mentoring. Never was such an award more deserving than this one. In 1968, a long time ago, I was among the many students who gathered at Sproul Plaza on a spring day at Cal Berkeley to hear Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., my fellow Georgian, speak. He looked out over the large crowd and he said, "America has brought the nation and the world to the awe-inspiring threshold of the future, and yet we have not yet learned the simple art of walking together as brothers and sisters." His words still ring true. 50 years later, we still have much to do to find the right course. I can promise you, Gary May understands this reality to his core, and he looks forward to working with all of you to make a difference for your students, this university, and our country. In closing, let me congratulate you on selecting Gary May as your 7th chancellor. You've not only done well in choosing Gary, but you are fortunate to have as part of your family, Gary's family. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Clough, and thank you for your service to our nation. We're equally honored to have with us here today the President of the University of California, Ms. Janet Napolitano. Janet Napolitano serves as the 20th President of the University of California and the system's first female president. Prior to joining UC, Ms. Napolitano served as the United States Secretary of Homeland Security from 2009 until 2013. She was governor of Arizona from 2003 to 2009 and previously served as Attorney General of Arizona from 1998 to 2003. During her tenure as governor, she focused primarily on public education. She was also the first woman to chair the National Governors Association. She holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Santa Clara University in Political Science, where she was Phi Beta Kappa, a Truman Scholar, and the university's first female valedictorian. She received her law degree in 1983 from University of Virginia School of Law, and in 2010 was awarded the prestigious Thomas Jefferson Foundation Medal. Please welcome UC President Janet Napolitano.
Thank you. What a wonderful day. As president of the University of California, I am delighted to join you in celebrating the investiture of Gary May as the 7th Chancellor of the University of California at Davis. We are indeed fortunate to welcome someone with Chancellor May's accomplishments, breadth of academic and administrative experience, and distinguished record of public service to assume the role of UC Davis Chancellor. This is somewhat of a homecoming for Chancellor May, who earned his master's and PhDs in electrical engineering and computer science at UC Berkeley. So we are thrilled to welcome him back to the UC family. Since earning his degrees, Chancellor May has gone on to win numerous awards for his research in computer-aided manufacturing of integrated circuits. More recently, as Wayne Clough just described, Chancellor May served for 6 years as Dean of the College of Engineering at Georgia Tech. In his time there, Chancellor May developed successful programs to attract, mentor, and retain underrepresented women and ethnic minorities in the STEM fields. He mentored up-and-coming students and researchers, believing that his own success is best judged by how he enhances the lives of others. In 2015, President Barack Obama honored Chancellor May with the Presidential Award for Excellence in STEM Mentoring. All of this work has prepared Chancellor May well for assuming the reins of this great university. A university that Kevin Starr, the renowned California historian, described as a critical player in the success story of the Golden State. As the next chapter of that story begins, I would like to ask Chancellor May to please step forward for the official investiture. I would also like to invite President Emeritus Clough and University of California, Santa Barbara Chancellor Henry Yang to come forward. President Clough, will you please assist Chancellor May in removing his hood from UC Berkeley, where he earned his PhD in 1991. And Chancellor Yang, will you assist Chancellor May in donning his new UC Davis hood? So, be it known that I, Janet Napolitano, President of the University of California, on this 27th day of October 2017, do hereby install Gary May as the Chancellor of the University of California at Davis and invest in him all the authority and rights appertaining thereto. And Chancellor May, as tangible evidence of your new office, I will now present you with the Chancellor's Medal. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to present the 7th Chancellor of UC Davis, Gary May.
Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, President Napolitano, Regent Kieffer, distinguished members of the stage party, faculty and staff, colleagues, students, members of the Davis community. Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. Wow. Can't tell you how much this really means to me. You sure know how to make a new chancellor feel honored. This is truly a dream come true. I've dreamed for a long time of standing on a stage like this, all decked out in full academic regalia. Robe, the hood, the tam, and the bling. And saying out loud, hi, Mom, it's me up here, your son. Can you believe this? Did you ever imagine me becoming the leader of a major university? Well, I no longer have to dream, and she doesn't need to imagine. My mother is right here in the audience, and you just heard me tell her what I've always wanted to say. I also have to say this. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for those nights you spent helping me with my homework after spending the whole day in school teaching other kids. Thanks for getting me those jigsaw puzzles, Legos, and erector sets. I didn't know it then, but of course, but looking back now, I can see how assembling the blocks and beams and puzzles taught me the joy of building and creating. My low-tech creations became the seeds of my academic career in engineering. Thanks, Mom, for putting me in good schools and making college a priority for me and the May family. And most of all, thank you for believing in me. My father, Warren May Jr., could not be here. He passed away in 2006, but he believed in me too. Even before I was born, he told everyone who would listen that his son was going to be president one day. It's true. He was almost right. I know that he would be proud today. My sister Angela is here, We are very close, as you heard. As I said in the video, I always say she was my first best friend growing up. That knockout line has a little explanation that's required later. Her support has meant everything to me, though. I have a lot more people to thank for helping me get where I am today. I'll never be able to name them all, but please bear with me. As I said in the video, in the South, there's an expression that goes like this: if a turtle is sitting on a fence post, it didn't get there by itself. Somebody helped that turtle get on that post. People have helped me. My dad may not be here, but I'm blessed to have other father figures in attendance. Wayne Clough, whom you just heard from, is among them. Wayne took a personal interest in me and taught me how to be a leader and a campus CEO. He's a true statesman, role model, mentor, and friend. I would not be here but for his exemplary leadership. There are many times, even in my first 3 months, yes. Even in my first 3 months here at Davis, there are many times I find myself asking, what would Wayne do? Speaking of role models, Augustine Essaboy participated in today's processional. Dr. E was the first black engineering professor at Georgia Tech. I wanted to be like him. We all did. The stylish clothes, the intellect, the suave accent, fancy cars. He's been there for me throughout my career. He was there when I got my PhD at Berkeley, and he's here today. I can't thank him enough for his steadfast support. While on the subject of father figures, I would be remiss if I did not also acknowledge my other mothers who are here with us today. My godmother, Janie Hughes, and my mother-in-law, Carol Lee, who are here with us. I also have students to thank for teaching me the value of being a mentor. I had 3 of my 22 former PhD students here with us today, Drs. Cleon Davis, Gregory Triplett, and Francis Williams. They have all had some success, and I'm proud of all of them. Gregory and Francis also go by the title Dean these days. Cleon, yes. Cleon's story I wanted to highlight because it's particularly compelling. He was misdiagnosed as a child with a learning disability. An active and a curious kid, he was pigeonholed as a slow learner, placed in a special education class and driven to and from his elementary school in a bus for special ed kids. But eventually his mother successfully insisted that the school place him in mainstream classes. Eventually this quote-unquote slow learner, who had been stuck in the special education class, went on to graduate with a PhD in electrical engineering from one of the top 5 engineering schools in the country, Georgia Tech. He's now a member of the technical staff at the Applied Physics Laboratory at Johns Hopkins University. My experience with Dr. Davis cemented my belief that anybody can reach their full potential and be successful if given the right tools, training, and motivation. This belief is reflected in my long association with the National Society of Black Engineers, which seeks to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. Several of my NSBE colleagues are here. Please stand to be recognized. Overall, we have a very select audience here this afternoon. We could not let just anybody attend, however. We had to carefully screen out anyone who had previously heard any of the jokes that I've recycled for this very special event. I thought when you changed institutions, your jokes had new shelf life, but I'm not sure how Andy Jones got in the door anyway. But let me just say, I've noted that many of my predecessors here at Davis did not need much in the way of introductions in their inaugurations. They were familiar names and faces in the UC system. Stanley Freeborn was the first UC Davis chancellor. He was the dean of the College of Agriculture at UC Berkeley. Emma Marak was a food science professor here. James Myers was dean of the UC Davis College of Agriculture, as it was called then. Theodore Huller was chancellor of UC Riverside. And Larry Vanderhoff was executive vice chancellor here for 10 years before his promotion to chancellor. As for me, I stopped by the campus once about 30 years ago when I was a grad student at UC Berkeley. Clearly, I must have made a lasting impression. But as the new kid on the block, I guess I'm in need of an introduction. I'm a lifelong educator. I believe that education is the key to a successful, productive life, and it must be affordable and accessible to everyone. The roots of my belief in the value of education run at least 4 generations deep in my family. I'm told that my great-great-grandfather, Theodore May, instilled in his 9 sons a strong work ethic and a strong belief in the power of education, even though they weren't able to get a formal education at the time. He was a British indentured servant who came to the United States to work off his debt. He eventually married a woman named Minerva Cavendish, a former slave. So that was pretty radical back then. It was a white guy marrying a former slave. Mays were always trendsetters. Theodore May's values carried on through to my generation. My father, Warren, was a postal clerk. He didn't get a college degree until later in life, but he was a very smart and very determined guy. I have a pretty modest and humble background. My parents didn't have many resources, but they were both very clear to my sister and I that education was important. Right, Angie? My mother, Gloria, was a school teacher, as I said. She taught kindergarten and first grade for more than 40 years in the St. Louis public school system. She checked my homework every night. She continues to help me with all sorts of things, even to this day. In fact, she sent me some language for this speech. My mom was the first in her family to go to college. She was among the very first African Americans to integrate the University of Missouri. She got called names and had some unpleasant things happen, but she was proud to graduate with a degree in education so she could have the career she wanted as a teacher. She modeled determination in ways I will never forget. My dad did everything he could to make sure my sister and I had a good education. In grade school, he'd give me $1 for every A that I earned, which, when you earn straight A's, is a pretty good deal, because comic books were cheap back then. As a student, I had a talent for math and science, which helped me progress through 3 degrees, but I always was troubled by the fact that I was one of very few people of color in the class or the laboratory. So as a faculty member and as Dean of Engineering at Georgia Tech, I worked very hard to change that. I developed and led programs to attract, mentor, and retain women and underrepresented minorities in the STEM fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. I was drawn, thank you. I was drawn to UC Davis first and foremost because it is a great university. We have a great reputation nationally and internationally for excellence in teaching, scholarship, and research. But as the late Chancellor Vanderhoff said in his inauguration speech 23 years ago, the pursuit of diversity is part and parcel with the pursuit of academic excellence. UC Davis has demonstrated a strong commitment to diversity in its student body, its staff, and its faculty. At Davis, diversity is not just a buzzword. It's not window dressing or a bow to political correctness. It is one of our great strengths. We are committed to diversity because it is integral to our success. With diversity comes a wider and more interesting range of experiences, ideas, opinions, and perceptions. The greater the mix, the more likely we will make discoveries and solve problems, the hallmarks of academic excellence. I was also attracted to UC Davis because of its reputation as a socioeconomic escalator for students of all backgrounds. Washington Monthly magazine recently ranked us in the top 10 American universities for promoting social mobility. Finally, I was drawn to UC Davis because of our stellar record of doing good in the world, locally, nationally, and globally. In fact, Princeton Review just released its annual list of the greenest schools, and UC Davis placed 10th. Becoming UC Davis Chancellor was an opportunity I couldn't pass up, and the timing was perfect because our daughters, Simone and Jordan, are out of high school and in college now. More on them later. What's more, my wife, Lachelle, has been able to continue her own career at CNN as a software developer working from home at Davis. More on her later, too. It's no small bonus having right at our fingertips this Mondavi Center for the Performing Arts, plus the concert hall at the Annie Pitzer Center and the Manetti Shrim Museum of Art. We can enjoy arts and music from around the world without spending half of our lives in traffic or searching for a parking space. We can actually walk here from our house. Being Chancellor of UC Davis is definitely a dream job, the culmination of my career. I must admit, though, it was not easy leaving Georgia Tech. I spent most of my adult life and academic career in Atlanta. We were honored with more than a dozen farewell parties before we moved here. Many Georgia Tech friends are also here for my investiture. Please stand and be recognized. Now, there's no doubt that UC Davis was meant for me. This campus teems with excellence, innovation, and a spirit of inclusion that attracts the brightest minds from around the globe. I believe I've arrived during what is potentially the most exciting chapter in Davis history. You heard from the president of our Alumni Association, Debbie Segura. You heard her say that our blue and gold has never been stronger, more enthused, or more committed. I could not agree more. I've always said that if I was going to leave Georgia Tech, it would have to be for either a top-notch institution or a great location. I happen to get both. UC Davis is home to the best agricultural and environmental sciences college in the country, if not the world. And our School of Veterinary Medicine consistently ranks #1 worldwide. As the most comprehensive campus in the UC system, we also have excellence in the arts, social sciences, and humanities. Many of our graduate programs continue to receive accolades. For example, English and political science are now ranked in the top 20 by U.S. News and World Report. In fact, Davis enjoys excellence across the spectrum of academic disciplines, resulting in our consistent ranking as one of the nation's top 10 public research universities. LaShelle and I are both happy to be at a place that does such critical work, and we will do our best to take that work to the next level. I began my work of moving UC Davis forward on August 1st, my first day on the job, when we announced that I would have embarked on an intensive listening tour that will continue through the fall. My first stop was actually before that, in the form of many conference calls with Ralph Hexter, my friend and our provost who served as interim chancellor for 15 months. He could not have been more helpful in easing my transition to campus leadership. Provost Hexter, please stand to be recognized. I've been meeting all of the different UC Davis stakeholders and constituents to hear about what you think is important, what you're proud of, and what you think we need to do better. That's students, that's faculty, that's staff on our UC Davis and Sacramento campuses. It's also our alumni, donors, government leaders, and news media. I noticed right away that everyone is very passionate about UC Davis, and their passion takes several forms. Some are excited about athletics. Can I get a go Aggies? Others are passionate about our life-saving work at the schools of medicine and veterinary medicine, or our advancements in patient care at the nursing school. And I'm not sure, but I think the African-American community seems a bit excited that I'm the first African-American chancellor at UC Davis. In making my rounds, I have heard many alumni and others describe Davis as a kind of a sleeping giant, a powerful institution that has yet to show the full extent of its power. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's time for this giant to wake up. Whether it's our record fundraising, our record research expenditures, our athletics teams making campus history, our noteworthy achievements in scholarships, or our overall ranking as a top 10 public research university, UC Davis is unmistakably on the rise. Increasingly, UC Davis propels social mobility across California and the nation, graduating large numbers of students from historically disadvantaged backgrounds, such as families with no previous college degrees. Increasingly, our university makes headlines on the front line of today's humanitarian crises, be it healthcare, public health, global hunger, water security, water scarcity, immigration, climate change, poverty, or environmental impoverishment. People are often stunned once they learn about UC Davis's accomplishments, our groundbreaking research in so many fields, our contributions to prosperity in the Sacramento region, our empowering students to do good in the world. My goal is to make us one of the handful of universities at the tip of the tongue when you talk about the nation's great public research universities. And we're not far from that now. Davis is on the map, but not necessarily the map that resides in the minds of some outsiders. A lot of people outside of academia, particularly those east of the Rockies, simply don't really have a notion about UC Davis or even where we're located. Davis, is that the one near Disneyland? No. We're going to do a better job of telling our story and our location so we can continue to attract the best professors and researchers and the most talented students. The greatness of UC Davis has yet to be fully told or shared. To promote UC Davis to the next level, we have initiated the development of a university-wide strategic plan, one that assembles many outstanding pieces into a coherent whole and provides a roadmap to preeminence. I gave that plan a name, To Boldly Go. Some of you would prefer To Go Boldly. Yes, it's a phrase that reflects my love of Star Trek, but it also sets the tone that UC Davis is moving forward with confidence and commitment to excellence like never before. Who will stand in the way of a university that wants to go boldly where no university has gone before? Resistance is futile. One of the key goals is to strengthen Davis's ties with the greater Sacramento region. One way to do that is through the establishment of a more mutually beneficial relationship, particularly in the area of economic development. So I'm working with Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg, a UC Davis alum, and regional business leaders on establishing a technology-focused innovation ecosystem in Sacramento, similar to Technology Square in Atlanta, which you heard from Dr. Clough. A thriving partnership between Georgia Tech, the city, and the business community. Such an enterprise would give our students and companies better access to one another for employment opportunities, and would also make it easier for companies to collaborate on research with our faculty, our postdocs, and our graduate students. We have the three pillars that are needed to make a transformative impact on our region. A world-class university, a world-class city that Sacramento can be, and an engaged and enthusiastic business community. UC Davis can be pivotal in growing a new economy in our region, one grounded in technological innovation. Every month, our campus launches a new business startup in fields that play to our strengths, such as biotechnology, food technology, and nutrition. The city of Sacramento and the region's business community are ripe for an innovation ecosystem, and my experience with Tech Square in Atlanta will make it easier for me to move forward with something similar here. I'm very excited about it. We're calling it Aggie Square. Stay tuned. Thank you. As Chancellor, I will be the university's biggest cheerleader, and you can bet that I will cheer on the Aggie spirit of innovation, community engagement, public service, and research with measurable social, economic impact. Now, to put everyone's minds at ease, I think I need to make it clear that my vision of technological innovation does not involve either Lego or erector sets. I have outgrown those toys. However, I cannot say the same for comic books. Some of you may wonder why a distinguished university leader recognized for serious scholarship still collects and reads comic books. Some of you may also wonder why Lachelle hasn't tossed those 13,000 comic books that are taking up so much valuable space. Well, the fact is that the X-Men, the Avengers, and the Justice League are using their powers for good, and that's what I'm about. Every day, Every day, I try to learn something, to help someone, and to make the world better. I challenge everyone here to do the same. I hope that over the years, people will see my leadership as visible, approachable, and accessible, with a dose of humor every now and then. I think they'll see that I have the best interests of the students and the university at heart. I don't want UC Davis to be a place that only trains and educates students. I want us to actually empower them, like superheroes, to be agents of their own success, their career, and their destiny, and to do some good in the world. George Bernard Shaw said, if you have an apple, and I have an apple, and we exchange these apples, then you and I will still each have one apple. But if you have an idea, and I have an idea, and we exchange our ideas, then each of us will have two ideas. Those ideas will last forever. At UC Davis, it's our responsibility to generate and propagate the ideas that will make the world better and last forever. So as I conclude, let me end my remarks as I began, by thanking some very important people. Let me first borrow from President Obama's tribute to his own daughters to express the feelings that I have for mine. Simone and Jordan, despite all I've done in my life, you are my greatest accomplishments. To my wife, Lachelle, I say, and I think you would agree, you were the best thing that ever happened to me. I don't know if there's such a thing as love at first sight, but the first time I saw you almost 24 years ago, you were so stunningly beautiful I could barely speak. You still are. No one could imagine a better partner, stronger supporter, or a better friend. I love you unconditionally and eternally. Now, as the lyrics of one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs say, the song is As, God knew exactly where he wanted me to be placed. I am well placed, and I'm ready to help UC Davis go boldly as no university has gone before. Thank you for welcoming me here. I'm thrilled to be here. God bless you. God bless UC Davis. Live long and prosper.
Thank you, Chancellor May. We're all eager to join you on this journey forward, and we wish you the very best with every confidence that you will succeed. Congratulations, Chancellor May. Thank you all for your attendance today. How about a final round of applause for the UC Davis Concert Band and conductor Pete Nowlin? We're happy you could be with us. In a few minutes, after the singing of our alma mater, Hail to California, please remain standing and permit the members of the platform party and the members of the academic processional to exit Jackson Hall. After they have departed, audience members may then leave and join us at the reception just outside the doors of the Mondavi Center for the Performing Arts. Now, it is time to stand and join our singers and the UC Davis Concert Band as we sing the Alma Mater. The words are on the screen and in your program at the bottom of page 30. Thank you.